Hey everybody, welcome to the Protecting Outcomes podcast. I'm your host, Brian Rooney, and I'm here with my brother Devon Rooney. This podcast is about learning how to be better every day and learning about how to protect the outcomes that you want. So, chapter 6 today. Yeah,
I'm not prepared. I
it's
apologize.
okay. You don't
I'm
have to
trying to
be
show
prepared.
I'm trying to show up the same way.
I was like, oh crap, it's 11:03. I didn't get a notification that Devin was sitting on my Zoom.
Almost.
And
I
I
was
was like,
like,
oh, he's trying to figure out this link thing for the friggin'
yes,
Audible
that's
codes.
exactly right. That's
That's
exactly right.
why I figured
I
I'd
uh
call you.
I found what I'm passionate about, and that is getting this out there, getting your book out there, all that stuff, dude.
Making clickable links.
Yes.
That's your
Good God.
passion.
Oh,
It's your current
no.
frustration, is what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, the reason that I decided we should talk about chapter 6 in my book today, for people who haven't watched or listened to us before, my book is called Protecting Outcomes. You can get it at protectingoutcomes.com. And if Devin's doing what I think he is, he's going to put a QR code on the screen behind him so you can scan that. It'll take you right to the book. So, Protecting Outcomes is about learning how to protect the outcomes that you want or desire, or however you want to say that. With chapter 6 in the book, I decided that this is what we wanted to talk about today because I got a review on Amazon from a guy named Nick. Shout out to Nick at Parmelis and Associates for listening to my book on Audible and then leaving me this review. I'll just read you the review. It's super cool. There's the QR code on Devin's screen if you're watching. You can scan that and go to the book. But here's his review, and you guys can go see this if you want to. It says, Brian is great. His insights in this book are right on track for business owners and those seeking to better themselves. Excuse me. He talks about the risk that owners feel and touches on firsthand experience. I enjoyed his insights in chapter 6 when he talks about productivity and actually getting billable things out versus just feeling busy and confusing it productive. Definitely a great listen or read for a healthy perspective on the business. So, what I took away from that was that chapter 6 is the thing that Nick took away from the book that impacted what he does because of what he does for a living, or, for some reason it hit him hard. Um, and talking about productivity. So, chapter 6 is titled Busy Feels Productive, Value Feels Quiet. So, here's how this chapter starts. Most employees believe that if they look busy, they're contributing. Movement feels productive, activity feels safe. Being visibly occupied feels like proof that effort is happening. From an owner's perspective, that assumption is often wrong. For me, when I wrote this, my thought process on this chapter was because I own an auto repair shop, those are my examples, right? So auto repair related. The guy that looks like he's moving fast and finishing the most repair orders is not always necessarily the most productive person in the building. The most productive person in the building, I can tell you from experience, is always the person who's consistent. They're not rushing. They prepare for jobs before they pull the car in the shop to work on it. They show up the same way every day, so they're consistent. And the person who is just rushing around, knocking out jobs, they're not taking the time to go through the vehicle thoroughly, make sure we can give the customer a clear report of the condition of their car. They're just doing the things uh, that the client asked for. Like, so they came in for an oil change, right? So
Hmm.
the guy that's moving fast is banging out oil changes like six, seven, eight a day. But he's not doing the client good service by fully inspecting their vehicle, reporting the things that need attention, which We, I, as the owner of this business, want every client to know the condition of their vehicle, not so that we can sell repairs to them, but so they can make an educated decision on whether they want to fix the things that need to be done. So, like, if they bring it in for an oil change and they're about ready for brakes, great. We can tell them they need the brakes. And if we don't tell them the condition of the rest of their car, like for example, we're in the rust belt, right? So they need
Yeah.
brakes, but their control arms are rusted out, their ball joints are loose. It needs all new tie rod ends and alignment. It needs four new tires. It needs a whole bunch of stuff, and if those repairs add up to, a couple $1,000 pretty easily, two, $3,000. But if we only tell them they need brakes and it's going to be $490 to do brakes, they're going to go, great, let's do the brakes. And then the next time they come in, if a different technician, the guy that's consistent and not in a hurry, happens to be the technician that works on that car next time, he says, oh, you need all these control arms, the front end parts, the steering parts. And so we tell them it needs another $3,000 worth of work. Then they go, well, if you'd have told me that last time my car was in here, I would have probably just not done any of that and I would have replaced my car. So
Mhm.
that's why we want our clients to be educated, which, sorry, that was kind of sales pitchy for Rooney's Auto and Tire Center, but that's my example of the person that's in a hurry isn't always the most productive. But
I mean, and that's why, honestly, you've built such an amazing following for your business because that's exactly the way you do things.
mm,
And not saying everyone does it the same, because that's you having to get people that have experience. And, it kind of sucks that the older us technicians are, the more valuable we are. We know we are. We're stuck in our ways. And if you really don't have a mindset to change because somebody is asking you and showing you a way to be better,
yeah,
that's you have to teach that. And that's kind of that's what your book is a lot about too,
yeah,
is mindset shifting. And I wanted to say that I have an example of that from the side of technicians complaining about not making enough money. This is the always looking busy, rushing.
yeah,
I worked at a dealership, and the dealership essentially penalizes slow work. They
hmm,
really, really incentivize all of your money heavily on how fast you can do the job.
sure,
And taking time to do an inspection fully, like you guys do, like I did as a technician, and like you just stated, it's funny when people come at me and I'm the one that they think is in trouble and the customer is super mad at, and I'm like, I do my inspections the same way every
every time.
time
Yeah,
because I don't care about money versus speed to get them out the door. I'd
yeah,
rather have a well-educated customer. And then this goes to the employee portion of your book, Brian, is that guy that's complaining about not making money is doing it to himself,
yeah,
because the more thorough you are and the more educated you get the customer, they make the choice on their wallet. And a lot of times, at least here in the Northwest, it's to put thousands of dollars in their current car that's paid off, not go get a new one or things like that. And so, like, it's just so funny that, yeah, showing up the same way, do it slow and thorough and consistently the same way.
yeah, and not
Yeah,
necessarily do it slow, but do it slow enough that you prevent rework and do-overs
yeah.
and,
Sorry, I didn't mean
oversights.
slow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I get it. But like, so the most valuable days as an owner for me are the days that I feel like sometimes I feel like something's wrong because no one's bringing things to me. No one's asking me for, hey, what should I do with this? And I don't, those days sometimes feel like something's really wrong, but it's not. It just usually indicates that everything's working the way that it's supposed to work. People know where their lane is.
Hmm.
Everybody in the shop knows what their job is, why their job is what it is, what kind of outcomes they're trying to protect for the next person in line. So there's no confusion, there's no interruptions, there's no decisions that need me to make them. So yeah, those are the days when the business actually works. I mean, it works every day, but those days are like, I don't know if this is awesome or terrible because nobody needs me for anything. Does that mean that people mess stuff up and they don't want me to know about it yet? That's not the case in my shop. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I
But
guess
that's
like
an owner thought there.
yeah. So motion doesn't equal productivity, I guess.
Yeah.
The stability thing is such a big deal because that makes you reliable. When you're consistent, reliability increases trust. When you gain trust, you get more opportunities, like raises come sooner. Um, and you probably aren't having to ask for that because the owner and managers are seeing that you're consistent, that you do your work well the first time, that you're not creating situations where somebody has to come in and do cleanup or explain why something wasn't done right or why we gotta readjust it at a second time, or why there's still a clunk or a squeak or a rattle after we did a repair that we said was going to take care of that concern for you. But yeah, when work's done well, it doesn't. This is what's really interesting to me, and this really isn't chapter six, but the thing that I realized was when you do your work really well, it doesn't usually draw any attention. And it's almost like you're getting ignored because you're doing a good job. But I will tell you that the people that work for me that I don't worry about, that I trust to do everything in the whole process from start to finish without me having to jump in and make sure the stuff's done right. Um, it's that way because I trust them. So
Hmm.
if you're not having your manager or your boss talk to you for long periods of time or come to you with something that they want you to do, it's not because they're ignoring you. It's because they trust you and they don't have to step in because they know you're going to do it right and you're going to do a good job. Um,
So, can I ask you something?
yeah.
Is Do you feel like your book is about how if you're that employee that is not, that's constantly being bugged, that's constantly getting in trouble,
Mhm.
um, does your book open up to where you need to like notice that you're the common denominator? You got to have that harsh reality that, shoot, that's me and what I'm doing. People got to be open to the mindset shift, right?
Yeah, it really is. And if you are an employee and you're reading this, I wanted everybody to read this book from an owner's perspective, even if you haven't owned a shop or you've never managed a shop or a business. The reason that I asked that was because if this is the zoom out, right? I'm asking people to zoom out, put yourself in the owner's shoes or your boss's shoes and be like, what things am I doing that are creating situations where they have to step in? Or like, what am I doing that's potentially removing trust? And then go, well, what things can I do differently? Or what things can I do that I'm not doing that can take things off of their plate, create trust for me where they're not having to explain to a customer or a client why something didn't go right or it didn't get done in the timeline that we promised to begin with. If you're an employee and you can control any of those things, the mindset shift for you maybe if you're willing to recognize that you're part of the problem. We're all part of the problem, no matter
Yeah.
which side of this you're on.
Yeah.
It's so don't take this as condescending at all. But if you can zoom out and realize that there are things that you can do to make it better for the company, it's going to be better for you in the long run because I can guarantee you 100% that if you're showing value to the owners and to your management where you work at, that they see that whether they tell you they see it or not.
Yeah.
And your rewards will come. Depending on where you're at, you may have to ask for some of those rewards. But if you're at a place like that's already rewarding people who are quote unquote high performers and
Hmm.
trustworthy people, those
Hmm.
people are probably at high levels in the organization. They have lots of things that they oversee for the owner because they've developed trust.
Yeah.
The owner trusts them to handle things, which at the end of the day, as an owner, I can't wait for the day that I walk into my shop and my service advisor or general manager or lead technician goes, "What the heck are you doing here? Get out of here before you mess up our day." Right? I can't wait for that day. Like that's
Yeah.
my dream.
Yeah.
Uh, retirement and whatever and however many years that is I don't know what that looks like. I can't even imagine that yet, but I am constantly thinking about how close am I to the day where I walk into my shop and they tell me to leave because I'm gonna interject or step in somewhere that is gonna make their workflow not work the way they want it to.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I can't wait for that day. And I think
And
I bet you most business owners are like, that's what they want
yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
I
Because we're
hope.
not building businesses so that we can work at them until we retire, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm building a business so that I can do the things that I love outside of fixing cars and outside of running my business. I want to be able to go to conferences and trade shows and stuff like that so I can bring value back from those to my people that are at my shop. And I want to not have to worry about what goes on at the shop when I'm not here.
Yeah. I'm what I also hear for you is that th you building this business is giving back to your community because you're providing jobs that provide service directly to your community to get them everywhere they need to go within cars, which I think
Right.
that's why we were both drawn to cars. Like
Yeah, because
we
it's helping
love them.
people at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what we're
And
doing.
so my thing on this, and I feel like we're gonna have a certain clientele with it being an automotive business, is like I just want everybody to have the courage to ask, how do you become a valuable employee? Ask those questions
Yeah.
and then act, be a doer,
Yeah.
because how many times do we say it? Everything I've done has gotten me to exactly where I am today. And if you don't like where you're at today, you have to change something. And this is why, like,
Yeah.
I want you and I to be able to go to conferences and talk to people and tell people how simple, it's not easy, how
Right.
simple it is to shift your mindset and get on another level
Yeah. And I do
because it
think that
feels good.
people just need to live through something where they see that they decided they wanted something different, so they made a change and they got something different, right?
Yeah.
So
But
once
that,
people see that, then it's easy, right?
yeah,
Because you've seen proof that it can happen. You chose to do something different rather than do the same thing and expect different results. Insert definition of insanity here, doing the same thing and expecting different results. But yeah, so like you said, you are your current situation is a result of the decisions that you've made over time. I don't care how you look at that. Doesn't matter what angle you look at that from. That is 100% true.
Hmm.
And some people aren't going to like that that's what it is because they might be in a place where they absolutely hate. They don't like their job. They don't like who they're around. They don't like their financial situation. But those things are all results of decisions that they have made.
And I know I've got a buddy that would challenge me on that of saying, I'm not saying you chose everything. You didn't choose the color of your skin. You didn't choose the economic background that you grew up in. It's not that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's what you're choosing to do in your situations that you have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a technician making a ton of money telling me that he needs a raise because he can't afford to buy a house.
Yeah. Yeah. You told me about this guy.
And I was like, okay, let's sit down. Tell me your budget. What do you spend all your money on? If you want to let's get real about this. This is the hard truth. And subscriptions, everything. I mean, it was like $1,800 a month on what I would consider shit. Non-value add for your life if you're
Yeah.
not happy with your life. And I said, you're gonna need to sacrifice now if you want something later. And that's not what we've been geared towards in the last quarter of a century. That is not
Mhm.
this lifetime. So it's hard. And, but at the same time, that reminded me of like, are you willing to do this? No? Then expect zero change in your life and
Right.
to feel the same way.
Yep.
But yeah, just changing that. It's so simple. Like it's simple, it's not easy.
Yeah, for sure. And so many
Um,
things are like that.
yeah, that technician just made me think about, oh, you had brought up knowing it was in chapter 6 and just really honestly understanding that if you're stuck and getting passed over, it's okay to go ask the question. It might be a hard question for you, but
Sure.
it's something different. You've never asked. If you've been passed over multiple times, go ask and ask for them to be honest and be ready to hear the truth
Yeah.
and make
Yep.
a
Just
change.
go ask the question.
Yeah.
Yep. And the answer will be what it is. So part of being valuable as an employee is understanding how and what things to take off of the owner's plate.
Mm.
A good example here is my service advisor, Paige. She's actually service advisor is the wrong title for her. She's my director of first impressions because she's the
Oh
person that
yeah.
answers the phone. She's the person that people talk to when they come in. She's the last person they see before they leave. So she knows because we've been working together for so long. She knows like when I'm doing things that are important for behind the scenes operations of the company. She knows to be my filter, right? Because people come in and they ask for me because I've been fixing cars for 26 years and they want me to fix the car because I've been doing it for so long. They know I'm the guy, right? I've been
Yeah.
forever. But Paige knows when they come in and they ask for me, she's got a set of questions that she asks them to find out if they actually need me. And she keeps almost, I would say she probably keeps 98% of those people from
Yeah.
getting to me because in the end, they don't need me. They need an appointment. So they don't need me. There's something wrong with their car. Rooney's Auto and Tire Center repairs vehicles. And so they need an appointment with Rooney's Auto and Tire Center. They don't need Brian Rooney to
They
set them.
literally need Paige.
Yes, they do. Yeah. So what's really fun about my conversations with Paige and her growth recently is that so something that's always happened to me because I've been fixing cars in this town for so long that I'll be at Casey's picking up my Form energy drink for the day, and somebody will stop me on my way to the cash register and be like, "Hey, my car's leaking oil. When can you fix it?" And I'm like, "Any chance you can call the shop or stop in during the day when I'm in front of the schedule? Because that would be awesome and much easier for me because I will probably forget by the time I get back." But Paige has told me multiple times recently that she's gotten stopped in the grocery store and people are asking her, "Hey, what could be wrong with my car because it's doing this?" Or, "Hey, can I get an appointment next week?" And the first time she told me that, she seemed a little frustrated that was going on because, when you work for somebody and you leave at 5 o'clock, you're done with work for the day. Your brain is
Mhm.
shuts off. You don't care, but she cares, right? So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, here's what I'm hearing is that you have just leveled up to where I'm at because, or where I've been for a lot of years because that happens to me all the time and it's just part of it. And I'm like, how does that make you feel? And she's like, that's actually pretty cool.
And
Uh,
now she can tell them to call Darlene, the
yeah,
AI reporter, and get an appointment.
yeah. And the AI phone answering agent that we have now, it's working really well. I figured out yesterday that I didn't have We have our phone lines are on the same system as our internet. Through my control center, we had set up for Darlene to pick up if it gets to the fourth ring and we don't answer. Darlene would pick up and she would also pick up after hours and on weekends. But I didn't have the call routing set correctly for after hours and weekends. I was trying to figure out why we weren't getting anything in our report center for the AI phone answering system after five
Gotcha.
o'clock at night.
Hmm.
So it's because the calls weren't getting directed where they were supposed to be. And I thought there was something wrong with it, or everybody was just hanging up as soon as they heard it say, "I'm Darlene, I'm the shop's AI assistant." Click, right? Because I know people will do that.
Sounds like a script programming error.
Yeah, right. So, which you've experienced recently. But so it's working now. I got it set up yesterday and I had some stuff in my email and on the dashboard this morning for that Auto Shop Agents is the name of the company that we have that subscription through, but it's working. It's good. It's making it so that we don't have to listen to voicemails in the morning when we get here. Like I don't have to come in early and listen to the voicemails before anybody gets in. It also has taken stuff off of Paige's plate because she doesn't have to try and listen to the voicemails if I'm in the shop while she's got customers walking in, dropping off cars, scheduling appointments, and answering the phone because it was just really hard to get through the voicemails with
Yeah,
that
for
many
sure.
things going on. And a lot of
Yeah.
days we didn't even listen to them. So we don't have that anymore because it all comes through the AI dashboard, which is freaking great. I love it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, but so where I was going with that is like Paige is super high value because she knows when to take things off of my plate. She knows how to not let things escalate all the way to me when somebody says they need me. So here's the kind of the list of things that you can do to be high value at the place that you work at because high value employees don't just do their job, they understand the timing of things, they understand how to read the room, they understand how to help protect focus for the owner because the owner's behind the scenes doing all the operational stuff, trying to make sure that the money's all going to be there for the next payroll and all the tax things and all the vendor stuff. They're going through all of that. They're working with their bookkeepers and their accountants and doing things that people don't see. But if you can take some things off of your owner's plate, they'll be super excited about that. So the question to ask yourself is if someone's asking for the owner or the manager, you can kind of ask yourself, does this really need to go all the way to them or can I handle it? So if you can
Yeah,
handle it, awesome. If
that's a
not,
huge value add.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it just shows that you're good at making decisions, right? You can handle not really things on the fly, but if you make good decisions, that means you have good judgment, and good judgment is super valuable.
Yeah.
It's like I talk about in the book that Dakota, my technician that was here for 7+ years, moved on to someplace else, another shop in another state. And when he left, it wasn't about like I needed to replace him, right?
Yeah.
Because he did so many things, but it wasn't about replacing a technician with a technician. I haven't 100% filled his shoes yet because when he left, I needed to find someone who had good judgment all the time, somebody who was trustworthy, somebody who was reliable, somebody who shows up the same way every day. Everything that I talk about in this book, Dakota checked all the boxes. I don't think that I will ever have anyone who fills his shoes 100% because he was.
Challenge accepted. Somebody prove him wrong.
Yeah, right. Somebody come work for me as an automotive technician and show me that you can do all the things that Dakota did as well as he did them.
Yeah. You're looking for an A technician anyway,
I
so
am
perfect.
looking for an A-level technician who has at least 5 years experience in a shop. So yeah, if you're looking, reach out because I need somebody who checks all the boxes in this book, and I'm willing to pay for it.
And
I'm
with
not
what
the
I
cheap
know,
guy that won't pay you.
yeah.
You
But
show me
what
that you're valuable and you will be paid what you're
and
worth.
that's what I hope we get this to a lot of people. I hope you end up fighting away technicians because like I want you to get somebody that is watches our YouTube and understands like
Yeah.
have a mindset of growth. Coming to work at Rooney's Auto is not just about being a technician and being done at the end of the day necessarily. It's being part of something bigger that's going to help you grow to be your full potential,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I want to work there.
I know you do. You keep telling me that. You can have
Uh,
a little bit of a commute though that might
yeah.
cut into your actual ability to work real hours. So,
Yeah, true. Yeah, chapter 6 is a good one. I read you sent me that review and I was like, oh man. Yeah, it's a good chapter and I'm excited to keep talking about this stuff.
the fun part about that review from Nick was that Nick is not in an automotive repair shop.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So he's at the accounting firm that does my books and my taxes, which I mean, they do. Automotive repair shops is who they take care of, but
Right.
so they understand this world. But it's really cool to hear somebody from a different walk of life, I guess, say that it was really good to read it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the book is real easy to read, guys. Here,
Oh.
I think this is the longest paragraph in the whole thing. This is like, look at all these. This is like, here's the thing. Here's what it entails. One, two, three. Not one, two, three on everything, but it's so
Oh.
easy.
With that being said,
Yeah.
we'll post a link in here to the Google form to fill out. I just dropped a video, a YouTube short. The link doesn't work, but you can copy and paste it or right click on it and open the Google form, fill
Yeah.
it out. It takes 10 seconds to do, and you will be generated a free Audible code. We've got, I think, 50 codes that are going to end up going out for the free book. And I love the book in the Audible form of you narrating it because it's slightly over an hour. It's like a podcast episode,
Yeah.
and you just continue to listen to it over and over. I've gone back multiple times. It's on Audible, right? On
Yeah, the
protecting
the book
outcomes.
is on Audible.
Yep.
And if we run out of free codes before you get the Audible version of the book, go buy it. It's like $5 or $6. It's not even expensive. But
Yeah.
that almost devalues us giving away free codes.
It
I'm like
doesn't
it's
because
cheap. But
people, yeah.
yeah. So it's also if you have Amazon or excuse me, Kindle Unlimited. we learned a couple weeks ago that Kindle Unlimited, you can have it read to you. So you can get the book on Kindle Unlimited and just have it read it to you. But, it'll be less great because it won't be my voice reading you my book.
Yeah.
I love listening to a book that's read by the author. So,
Yeah, me too. It carries a lot of weight with it.
yep, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Nice. Got to get back to it.
I mean, not really. I got another 15 minutes before I gotta go.
Okay.
I'm like, I know how to run the shop. Try and not mess
Oh,
up all the things that Paige and the guys have lined up for the day.
yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's what I
All
got
right.
for the day. Chapter 6 is short, like all the other chapters. None of them are very long.
Yeah.
But if you sit down and think about how you can apply it, how you can make little changes, small changes stacked up over time, guys, equals big wins. Small changes in the right direction. So that's like part of the book I talk about. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
It's okay. I don't remember what I was going to talk about. Doesn't
I
matter.
was going to tell you about the mindset shift stuff and like your book talks big about employees and employers, but like because we've been talking about your book and all the stuff we talk about on the podcasts, I wrote down the other day because I had all these thoughts in my head about what I was going to do. I wanted to help you out and get videos that like I want to contribute. I want to
Sure.
feel like I deserve a little bit of this, with you.
Yeah.
I
No,
want to
you
feel
do.
like I'm taking some effort off your plate or helping you
Sure.
in ways. So I was like, I want to make this. A while ago we had talked about making something that generates a code, emails a code out to get people your audio book. And so I sat down and then,
Come say hi. Allison's here.
hey,
Hello.
how are you? For those of you who can't see, Brian's wife just came
Hey.
on the
She's
video.
delivering me lunch
Woo!
because I have a lunch Zoom call.
Oh, nice.
I
Thank
was
you.
going to get parts. Okay.
But it was just like I had never done anything, and you know, we've been talking a lot about being doers lately. Just do it. Just go. It's all the mindset stuff of fear is what stops us. Fear of success is even a really, really bad block for
Yeah,
everybody. And I was like,
for a
I
lot
got
of
to
people.
get after this thing to get traction on the platform for YouTube so we can get subscribers and really get to more and more and more people to start doing what we love and are excited to do here.
Yeah.
And so I had talked to you about it already. I got on. I was frustrated because things weren't going my way. I was using ChatGPT to write script and I wasn't sure. I'm using Google Sheets and Google Forms to track things, and I wanted to block duplicate emails and
Right.
send out the code after, and then track how many codes are left and all this stuff. And 5 hours in, I was like, I didn't think I was going to be mad that this isn't working because I'm smart and I know it's just a line of code and things are breaking, but this better work before I leave to pick up my daughter. That was my goal, and it happened.
Yeah.
And then I put on the video today. I was like, I'm done waiting for this. The link said that it worked. It doesn't actually work as a clickable, but it had me think about burnout. And we have chatted and I've talked to people, friends and family, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, there is such a thing as burnout. And you and I know they haven't found the right thing yet.
Yeah, they just haven't found the thing, right? So, I mean, I do think there's burnout in certain situations. Like, if you have to do something for whatever reason, if you have to do it for an extended period of time, say, like, I don't even know what, because I don't experience those things. But if
Mm.
you had to do something that you just absolutely despise having to do for 2 months in a row, you burnout's probably a possibility. But like
Yeah.
I choose to only do things that I love or at least like, right?
Hmm.
I don't do things that I don't like to do. I mean, there's little things here and there, obviously, because
Yeah.
life, but
Yeah.
like I don't do things that I don't love. I don't do things that I don't like, and burnout doesn't exist for me
Yeah.
because
I
of the things that I choose. So there's an example of you are where you are because of your choices, right? So
Mhm.
choose to do things you love. I'm not telling anybody to quit their job or leave their marriage or anything. If there's stuff you don't like about that, I'm not telling anybody to do that. I am telling you to find what you love, find something that you at least like because it will change your outcomes
Yeah,
and you won't get in that
absolutely.
burnout spot because you won't be hating what you do.
That was my cool for yesterday because I was like, where did 5 hours go and why do my eyes hurt? Because I'm looking at coding script, but I was like, oh, this is what non-burnout, if you will, feels like.
Yeah.
Because I lost the time. Just there were so many other things that I was thinking that I wanted to do. I didn't care about any of it
Yeah.
because this is what I'm excited about this and
Mhm.
your book and the things that you and I are going to get to do with this
Yeah.
and this podcast and helping people. So that's yeah, I found what I love.
Yeah.
I found my purpose.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stay tuned for the next podcast. We'll probably pull another review from Amazon on the book if we get some more reviews, which we will. You know, if you already have the book, guys, go if you've read it or listened to it, please do us a huge favor. Hop on Amazon, search Protecting Outcomes, pull it up, and just leave a review. Leave your honest review too. I'm not asking for 1 star or 2 star reviews, but like if you didn't like it, leave your review. I want to know how people actually feel about it because I have 2 more books started as follow-ups to this book, to Protecting Outcomes. Because this one's the baseline, but I've started an employee-directed version and I have an owner-manager version of this, and they'll be coming out with workbooks so you can go along with them. Those are going to be huge for everybody. Like if you're like me and you want to read along and you want something to write down or some activity to do so that to help you like attach what was in that specific chapter to life so you don't forget it. Those will be really awesome to have those with book 2 and 3. That's why, okay, so for the record, I've had several people get the book. I'm flipping through trying to find this because I did this on purpose.
I was
It
so happy to
says
see that.
I'm holding the book up to the screen, and it says on the first page before the book starts, says part one. There's no part two in this book. There's no part three in this book because when I got this book uploaded for publishing, I decided that this was just the beginning, guys. So this is a book series. This is part one. Part two and part three hopefully will be out before Christmas, but this needs to get some traction, needs to get in people's hands so that they can get part two and part three to go along with it in the workbooks. So
Or ears, because it's available on Audible now.
yeah, either way. But you're going to want the paperback version of it when parts 2 and 3 come out because there will be workbooks to go along with them. I don't know exactly how that's going to work if we can do them as a set, like you buy
Yeah.
part two and you get the workbook with it, probably. But the workbooks will be a separate item.
Yeah.
But that way, if you want to use this as training or coaching material at work, for other employees. If you're a manager and you want to coach or teach on the employee part of this book series, you can just buy a bunch of workbooks and buy a couple copies of the book, and then everybody can go through the workbooks. Anyway, that's going to be really cool. I'm excited about that. So
Yeah.
remember, guys, just at the end of the day, once you see protecting outcomes clearly, you can't unsee it. And once you operate that way, everything changes. Signing
Yay,
off.
yay.
See you next time.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.